I want to get to some royal news. A shocking new poll has revealed that Meghan Markle is now less popular in the UK than ever. What's Meghan's current approval rating and what caused this latest dip in public opinion, do you think?
Yeah, so, I mean, in the UK, there's it's almost a constant. There's incessant polling of the public to sort of see what the support's like for the monarchy for particular members of the royal family. It's a constant thing. It's done every quarter. So Meghan Markle has been polled in these polls for over 7 years now, and you can see that there's a very dramatic shift in her opinion ratings from early on when she started dating Harry. It was on the rise. It peaked at the wedding in 2018. Of course, it was this beautiful royal wedding. Of course, that was a positive time for the royal family and for Meghan with the public. And it absolutely has just collapsed since 2020. So basically over the past 5 years, she's been hovering around the 20 to 30% mark. Actually, we were tracking it at Sky in 2023, and she kind of went through a period for about 6 to 8 months where she was relatively quiet, and that was actually, it peaked a little bit, it went back up. And I think the theory was that the less the public is seeing Meghan in public talking, complaining about the royal family, you know, cashing in, doing these things that rub people the wrong way. When she doesn't do that, the ratings start to climb back up again. But obviously in recent months, she's back on the trail, the publicity trail. She's got the cooking show, you know, she's got her product line. And again, I think in the UK, it just doesn't, you know, gel with the public. I think the British public are very sensitive about any time when the royal family looks like they're cashing in. Even though she's not a working royal, she's still included in these polls, and it's a headache, it's a problem. I will say the same polls showed that Kate and Will are more popular than ever. They're both hovering around 75%, which is fantastic. I mean, even King Charles is only at about 60%. Right. So definitely that's a positive from these latest polls, because it shows that the future of the monarchy in the UK seems pretty solid. But yeah, I think with Meghan, the trick is the less she's out there, the more people like her. The
less she speaks.
Right.
But you know, when you've been caught trashing the royal family, I think people don't like it, and the polls show that. But that's a great indication that William and Catherine still are going strong.
Yeah.
Now, the royal member Zara Tindle has finally spoken out about the monarchy's feud with her cousin Prince Harry. What did Zara have to say?
Yes, so you know, Zara Tindle is, again, like all the other members of the royal family, very, very private about these issues with Harry. It's very one-sided. It has been really up until this point. If you think about it, we've had the Oprah Winfrey interview. Harry's done subsequent interviews, most recently for the BBC, talking about this estrangement directly. We've never really had that from the royal family, but Zara Tindle was at an event last week in the UK where she was asked some questions by the audience, and she sort of, I guess in a roundabout way, did chime in on Harry. She kind of said that, look, we're a family like any family. We go through challenges, but she also said that they support each other. I think that's probably all we may ever know from the royal family side, because they do not talk about these kinds of things directly. So I think even Zara saying that, it was such a small statement, but in a way a huge statement, because it's an acknowledgement, I think, of the rift, which is what people have really sort of taken notice of. It's also Zara Tindle's birthday today, so happy birthday to
Zara Tindle.
44. But yeah, you know, I think that she handled it well. I think she acknowledged it, but she also sort of went straight back to saying, look, we're a family, we're a unit. She paid a lovely tribute to her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. And yeah, you know I'm a fan of Zara Tindle.
Of course. Now, Princess Catherine looked very fabulous in a stylish Victoria Beckham suit during a royal engagement this week, but some fans are convinced that she might be sending a secret message to the Beckhams. What's all this about?
Yeah, well, this is another interesting parallel kind of story where, you know, the Beckham family, who are in many ways the unofficial sort of celebrity royal family in some ways in the UK, they're going through their own turmoils. You know, there's rumours, allegedly, that there's a falling out between their eldest son, Brooklyn, his wife, Nicola Peltz, and the Beckham family. That has sort of come up again in recent weeks, allegedly after some absences, including at David Beckham's bash, big 50th birthday bash. And people think that maybe Kate is sort of sending a bit of support because, you know, they're both, in a way, going through these sort of family feuds. She wore this stunning olive Victoria Beckham suit, very stylish. And she does wear a lot of Victoria Beckham, I will say. This isn't the first time she's worn one of Victoria's designs, but I think it was the time of it, I think, was a bit of a message of support, because we know that the Beckhams have been very supportive of the royal family. They've really doubled down on that in the last 18 months. So I think that this is sort of a mutual thing. It's kind of like, I see you, I respect you, I know what you're going through. And she looked fantastic.
Yeah, she absolutely did. Now, royal insiders are claiming that Prince William is already making plans to sideline the Sussexes when he becomes king. Now, what's prompted Will to act, and could the Sussexes actually be banned from Will and Kate's coronation?
Right. Well, this has cropped up again, essentially, because a royal insider called Hugo Vickers has spoken out. He's spoken to sources directly inside the palace. And we knew this. We know that William has been furious about the Sussexes' antics. He's taken a much harder line than King Charles has, and we know that he was outraged about when he found out that Meghan's still using the HRH title recently. That really allegedly infuriated the Prince of Wales. And the theory is now that he will be taking steps from day dot, basically, when he becomes monarch. And the first step could be excluding them formally from the coronation. Obviously, William didn't have a hand in the King's coronation, and of course Harry was invited to that. He attended. He wasn't in the front row, he was in the third row with the sort of extended family members, but he was there. But the idea now is that once the crown moves to William, it's not necessarily, there's no real precedent necessarily for having Harry there. There's actually a precedent where the Duke of Windsor was excluded from his brother's coronation. So there's actually, William would be totally justified in not inviting Harry at all, which is quite shocking when you think about there was a time not that long ago when Harry, Meghan, Will and Kate were considered the future of the royal family.
Yes.
I think that is absolutely never going to happen. I think now it's William and Kate, their family, and maybe, some of these other cousins. But I think that Harry and Meghan, when Will takes the throne, are going to be history.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Reilly Sullivan, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour.
Thank you.